So Elon said he's going to deliver an electric truck called the Tesla Semi. That was not yesterday. That was in 2017, back when Ed Sheeran released Shape of You. Better late than never. At least that's what truck drivers are going to say when they're so late in charging their trucks. So this week was a big one for Elon. He announced the Tesla Semi truck and he announced a lot of updates in Neuralink. It's not so often that a person creates such a giant electric truck and get into people's minds at the same week. Dude, what's wrong? My Neuralink is connected to my Tesla Semi and I was delivering a shipment right now. Done. Truth is, this whole electric truck industry is a fantastic one. It's huge, it's giant, it's what every investor would like to get into because they know how big the market is. Of course, there is one who always kind of is in a conflict with Elon Musk, and that is Bill Gates. So back a while ago, Elon discovered that Bill Gates has a short position against Tesla. For those of you who don't know what that means, it simply means that whenever Tesla loses its stock value or drops in its price, Bill Gates makes more money. So it's kind of the opposite. If you generally make money if the stock goes up. This is a long position. Now, what Bill Gates had was a short position. So he was betting against Tesla. And he was widely attacked by Elon Musk at that time for this specific period. It happened again with the Tesla Semi. This is what happened. So what Bill said is that the Tesla Semi as a concept is not really good. It's not going to work because the batteries are going to be heavy and that's going to consume more energy. So he would say that for the truck industry, it's not going to work as it worked with the normal car industry. And this is where Bill Gates criticized him and he invited him to come try the Tesla Semi. But interestingly, if you really think about the short position that Bill Gates did, he made a ton of money. You can see how much the stock dropped ever since this whole feud was announced on Twitter. And this could just be a small estimate of how much he did. So the first thing what I did was to head to Twitter to see what people are saying. And some people are not so happy about it. As you can see, there are people who are just not so happy with weight. The whole idea is for a truck to be really successful, it needs to deliver a certain amount of weight from a place to a place. And if it's all fancy and electric and cannot deliver a good amount of weight, then for the truck drivers and for the truck industry, it's not really useful. But I started to ask questions. Like the first thing that came in my mind is, well, it's an electric truck. That means it saves a lot in gas, doesn't it? The first question that I had was, how much cost is gas in the whole breakdown of the truck per mile? Like, for example, if the truck drives a mile, what is the cost breakdown? We pay the driver, and what about the gas? What about the repair costs? Everything. So Deloitte answered this question in one of their reports. And as you can see, 25% of the whole costs go to fuel. So since electricity is a little bit cheaper than gas, a little bit more, it's a lot cheaper than gas. For that case, that's good. So that's a good thing, isn't it? But then when you ask the question about CO2 emissions, of course, this is one of the big major problems in our world. And are trucks really a margin, or are they affecting the world with the CO2 emissions, or are they just a small fraction of it? So I looked at it, and it turns out that trucks do have a very big margin of the whole CO2 emissions and how they're contributing to CO2 emissions. And for that, targeting this is the most vital thing to do when we're talking about CO2 emissions. Also, to not confine myself with the US market, I looked a little bit about the European market. And around 15% of European CO2 emissions are because of that. And for that reason, it's also going to be a big hit in Europe. But, I'm a person who's always interested in business and entrepreneurship. This is where my background is, and this is where I'm interested in. So I started asking, is road freight really something people are investing in? So then I looked at the merger and acquisition deals in the past 5 years, and it's definitely on the rise. I think it's one of the reasons why Amazon took a very big stake in Rivian, because they believe that they would help them in their trucks. Also, you don't have to take me as reference. McKinsey launched projections to showcase the ZEV, which is zero emission vehicles, and the trucks and how much they're projected in terms of sales in the future. And as you can see, It's definitely on the rise. And this kind of makes sense when you really think about it. How are we going to transport things? And transportation is one of the basic needs when it comes to commerce. So it's definitely a need. Oh, so they had a great event. They're awesome. Is that what you're saying? Well, there are a few things that they didn't say in the event. And this is really a big concern as well. They didn't mention the weight of the vehicle. And they didn't mention how long it's going to take to actually charge the vehicle. This is also a huge concern. Hey, what are you doing here? Don't you have a delivery to fulfill? Ah, yes, I just put my semi in charge. Oh, then we have time. Let's watch a documentary about turtles. Dude, I just put it in charge. Oh, let's watch a documentary about snails. That's more like it. But let's do a 1-hour meditation first. That was so lame. Although Tesla did say before that it has mega chargers that are going to charge 70% of the truck in 30 minutes. But, this is one of the biggest concerns in the market, so you might as well have addressed it in this big event. So yesterday was the event, and they announced a few things, but they also didn't say a lot of things, and people are criticizing them for that. So they said that the Tesla Semi could go 60 miles per hour in 5 seconds, but without any load. They also said it could reach 60 miles per hour if it had 80,000 pounds gross vehicle weight in 20 seconds. But the problem is they didn't really say how much the truck weighs. So this is one of the things that people are talking about. Now, some people criticized, obviously, because it's a little bit vague. They're not saying a lot of things, but they're also trying to be careful to get into the market. But truth is, they do have a vehicle that works. So that says a lot. Prices, they said that starts at 150,000. They also said it can go 500 miles on a single charge. So to conclude all of this, whatever happened in the event doesn't really matter. What you need to know is that there is a very high demand in this specific market. People want to get into it because it's a very important one. Everyone is driving trucks all the time, and it's growing annually, and it's nonstop because people's demand is always going to be there. So it's directly proportionate with how many trucks are going to be available in this world. Charging might not be that good. I'm sure it's not astonishing, but it will improve in time. They said something about a mega charger, but even if that doesn't happen, in time they will be able to develop it. I am pretty sure that this will take Tesla to the next level because the B2B transportation industry is quite a tremendous one. And for that, I say this is a really good step. Plus, however you look at it, this is a good win for the environment. Trucks are releasing a lot of CO2 emissions, and for that, it's a truck that is fully electric, whether by Tesla or by anyone else, is a very good solution to what's going on in the market. Finally, if you don't think it's a good vehicle, wait till you have the neural link in your brain. You might change your mind then.